All right, guys, thanks for tuning in tonight to our Emerald and Above call. It is February 11th. I can't believe it. It's flying by. And sorry for the late notice on the reminder. I'm trying to make our events for our whole month at the beginning of the month so you can kind of plan accordingly. Usually the Emerald and Above call will be like the third Monday of the month. But for Team Cup, I wanted to make it now so that anyone that's like pushing for this goal could know maybe in their minds that like this is feasible for this month, because I think what I'll talk about is there's a couple of different strategies to building to diamond, and I think they're all important when it comes to how you're going to like strategize your business for the month. So I went live today and I talked about pushing to emerald in 24 hours, and that is something that obviously can be used by any of us, because I do think in this business that like hitting emerald on a regular basis is a necessity. And when I say regular basis, like I really try to add 5 to 10 coaches a month to my team. This month so far, I've got like 3 enrollments out for other coaches, but only one's actually completed. So not every month obviously will be the same, but it's just kind of a general, like, this is what you kind of aim for to have consistency in your business. And that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. If you have kind of like looked into what it takes to build to diamond, obviously there are the numerical aspects of how many coaches that you need. But I really think that building to diamond kind of has a few different strategies. One is a mindset strategy, and I think this is the biggest thing. And that's what I want to spend the most time focusing on tonight. The other is like your actual game plan, and I'll post a diamond roadmap in our event, and you can use it. Like Stacy, I know you're trying to build Jonathan to diamonds. So you can use this for him. For me, I am kind of to the point where like I have built myself to diamond. I built my mom to diamond. I built Colin to diamond. I built my second business center to diamond, but like everyone's still a little shaky. So at this point, it's more for me like to kind of strategize for how do I keep them in a position to where like they actually have builders, not just like these shaky diamonds that you're trying to get somebody to go active every week. That's what we want here. Like we want a solid diamond business. You want first a solid emerald. So like getting to emerald, obviously everyone here has kind of checked off that box. Okay, I wanted to make sure I was recording. Sorry. And then after you get solid emerald, you can either work towards ruby, which is totally fine, or diamond, but ultimately that shouldn't be your end goal. Like a lot of people build to diamond and they think that's like the end all be all. And then once they get there, they see like my income has not drastically changed. What am I doing? And I am kind of wanting to come at you with the perspective of look to 2-star diamond as your actual goal and know that diamond is a stepping stone to get there. Honestly, building for rank in this business does not make a lot of sense for most people. You want to build for income for most of us because that is what we're here for, right? Like we're here to help people, of course, but we want to build for income for long-term purposes. And I was on a diamond call today, and I was with Summer Tucker, who is somebody who's way high up above us, and then somebody that's way high up above her, and they both will say flat out like Beachbody likes to put these little gems in front of you or carrots in front of you to help you build to certain things, but they don't always mean that you're actually building the right income. So like they take the mentality that hitting Success Club under your account first is not building for income. You should be actually hitting it under your spouse account as building for income. So keep this stuff in mind as I'm talking, because diamond is a goal, but it's a stepping stone to get you to 2-star diamond, because once you get to 2-star diamond, you can open a second business center, and that's where actual like huge income growth comes in. And just to give you an idea, because I feel like we all are like numbers people, 2 years ago in this business, my 1099s, I think, said I earned like roughly $24,000. Last year, open second business center, I didn't do a lot more activity. There wasn't like this astronomical Success Club surge, or I probably did recruit more coaches because I think it's a confidence thing, but I didn't necessarily have a lot more building coaches or anything, but my income was $15,000 more. And a lot of that comes from having opened a second business center last year and seeing the growth that that can provide. Because what you do is you build yourself to diamond, you then work to get to 2-star, and you can actually duplicate yourself in your downline, and you can start to run every order through that second business center, and it trickles up to where your higher business centers are getting higher team cycle bonuses. That's the real reason why you want to do this. And so when I was asked last year by like Josh Coates, who I do mentors with, um, he said, what's your real goal? I said, I want to open as many second business centers in this business as possible. I don't care about like superstar diamond. While that's a cool achievement, having 15 diamonds on your team, if you actually build 15 straight diamonds, you're missing out on a shit ton of income in this. So like, I want you to think about things in a way that like, yes, rank is great and recognition is great, but like, I'm here for the long haul and I'm here to really maximize the compensation plan. And diamond is just your stepping stone to get there. And I want to really talk about the simplification of it, because I think that we come in and we see it as like this huge, staggering thing. And it takes us forever to get there because we are scared of it. We're kind of like, tiptoeing around inviting new coaching and things like that, but realize that like it honestly is just one piece of the puzzle, and it doesn't have to be that scary. If you are here, most likely like Stacey, Molly, and Ashley, all three of you have taken the like sage advice in this business. You put your husband first on one side and you put another family member on the other side. Like, you can build to emerald that quickly. The benefit to getting to diamond and then beyond is helping maximize the income that comes from putting those people at the top of your business center. So if you've done it once, you can do it again and again and again. And what I mean by that is just going emerald again and again and again. And that's what diamond is. And if you have those like key people in your life and those top two positions, you can get them to emerald easily. It's just a matter of having the mindset, one, that I am growing a team. I am inviting people to like join my team. I'm not just using the discount coach opportunity as like my default. And I listened to a call today kind of to prepare for this. And it was from Lindsay Matway, who's extremely successful with this. And she said, she grew to diamond in like 3 months or something. And it took me longer than that. I'll say like it took me 9 months to get there. And you see coaches now come in and they do it in a month. And I honestly just think it's a mindset thing. Like, you start to look around and you're like, well, it took them this long. It took them this long. Like, it must be this big, scary thing. But new coaches come in, they have no inhibitions. They just do it. And I think it's because they take the mentality of, I'm looking to grow a team with this. I'm looking to grow an income with this. I want to expand my team, and you seem like you'd be a good fit. And I think that's part of this that we're scared with sometimes. We're really great at inviting to our challenges. We're not necessarily always as comfortable with inviting to our team. So she said, what you should do is you are acting as if you are that coach that you want to be. So if you want to be the superstar diamond coach, or you want to be the 2-star diamond coach, you're acting as if you're already that person. And you're approaching your invites and you're approaching your the people that you're talking to about this as if you are like that amazing coach who is going to help those people see success in this business, and you're not scared of that. And I think you're also teaching each person that you invite, the moment that you invite them, how to grow their business if they join you in this. So a lot of times we default to the discount coaching, or we invite to the challenge group and then we throw in the, well, hey, do you want the discount? Versus saying like, hey, I believe in you. I believe you're going to see this transformation with this. You're going to get the discount, which is great, but like, you're already set up as a coach to go ahead and see an income when you start to see those results and you start to share it. Would you like to get set up as a coach like that way? And when you approach it with that sort of confidence, when you approach it with that sort of like belief in that person already, that's going to be something that they can easily duplicate later on down the road. Whereas if you're just saying, well, you'll save $20 a month on your Shakeology, that's what they're going to do if they become your coach, right? And they actually decide to build. So acting as if you are that coach that you want to be is kind of what I wanted to talk about more than anything, because I think that the belief that, that you have in yourself in this is huge. Like, I talked about it today on the Emerald call, and I hope that if you guys have coaches that are kind of like, maybe I want to build, that you'll tag them in that to let them see. But believing that you are going to be where you want to be in this is the biggest thing, because that's where the confidence flows from. And so if you're in a position where you're like, well, I would like to be there, it seems nearly impossible right now, I think you have to get out the mindset piece first, and then you can start to strategize down to what it actually looks like. She said a quote today, and I just wanted to say it because I think it is true, but she said, believe you can or believe you can't. And you're right. So if you believe that you're going to get to 2-star diamond, you believe you're going to get the diamond, you're right, because you'll do the actions, you'll do the behaviors to get there. And so we are in February. We have, 10 months left of the year. And I know I've asked goals, and I've talked to some people one-on-one about goals, and a lot of people just say diamond. And I want to encourage you to think beyond that and go, shoot for the fences, and then you're going to get to diamond inevitably on the way. But like, of course, that's the next step to come. Like, 1-star diamond gets you to the new leader conference for next year, which is great. 2-star diamond gets you the second business center, which is what you want. And then from there, you can work on duplicating and getting additional business centers. And that is where massive growth starts to come. And I think that a lot of times what happens is we come into this, we get a little scared of that goal, and then we invite from that place of fear. So it's kind of like, well, you can do it or you don't have to do it. Or like, this could be a way to get to discount, and we might end up with a team of a bunch of discount coaches, which is fine. But you do ultimately want to find those people that are going to be business builders with you, and that just comes from having the confidence to ask them, hey, you want to grow this with me? Like, let's do this, you know. So don't project on others what you might be feeling. Project who you want to be. And then I think the other piece of this is, you know, if you have these tendencies yourself, like, you know, you have to be the coach that you want to attract, right? And I think we've said it before on calls that, like, you'll always have to do just a little bit more than the people that you bring into this to show them what they're capable of. And if you're hitting Success Club 10, you'll probably get coaches that hit Success Club 5. If you're hitting Success Club 50, they're probably going to hit Success Club 30 or 20. And I really think that that has shown to be true, you know, like being the person that shows up for the team calls, being the person that is actively running the challenge groups, being the person that's actively posting in the challenge groups and encouraging others. Like, if that's what you want to attract, be that person. And I guarantee that, like, just taking on that role of being a leader will help you start to feel more like a leader when you're going out to invite as well. And I mean, I'm saying this from a place of kind of having to go through some of these struggles myself, you know, like if you feel like you're inviting a lot and you're getting a lot of no's, what's your tendency is to close up, right? Whereas what you could do is take it and, like, let it fuel your fire to say, like, I am serious about finding these people. Like, if you don't want to be that person, that's totally fine, and attracting your tribe. And I on the leadership side, I've had to do that personally. And I think it's like, be, you know, the leader that you want to attract. Like, I want to attract other leaders, so I need to step my game up. I don't need to just shrink back because I'm starting to get a little uncomfortable. And on the side of being that person, you know, think about some things like consistency. Are you having a transformation like Stacy is right now and sharing it? Are you following the nutrition plan? You know, are you posting about that? Are you drinking Shakeology every day? Like, you know, Amber and I talked about her growing the business, and that was something she was doing here and there. And she set her goal for the beginning of this year just to drink that every day. Like, you know, that's a building block to this, and it's hugely important. Are you doing personal development every day? Are you being a product of the product? If you are doing those things and posting about them, you'll start to attract more people who will consistently do those things. And then branding yourself in the way that, like, you know, if you sit down and you think about the traits that you want to find in a coach, like, and I would totally recommend doing this. Like, you know, we make dream team lists all the time of, like, people we know, like, that person would be the ideal person to be on my team. Do it with traits though. Like, I want to attract coaches that will be coachable. I want to attract coaches that are, like, extremely passionate about helping other people. I want to attract coaches that are present, that show up, that add value. Like, make a list of those things and start to use those words in your coaching call to action. And I guarantee you'll start to attract more of those people that have those qualities. If you're just saying, I'll take anyone, you're going to just get anyone, right? But you want to actually attract, like, the coach that is your dream coach. And I think I heard it, somebody say it today, and I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Like, I need to sit down and really write down, like, here is what I'm looking for, and be more bold about that. You know, like, I used to downplay this business and say, it's, you could just fit it in the cracks. But I don't think I ever really qualify what that was to people. So I had people that were kind of sort of showing up like once a week or once a month. And it's because I projected that. Now I'm like, no, I've worked my ass off. I've done exactly what people tell me to do. I show up for my power hours at least 5 times a week. I show up for team calls. I plug into training groups. I complete my, like, trackers every day. That's what I want in someone else. So I need to look for what? Consistency. I need to look for someone who is hungry. I need to look for someone who really has, like, a drive to be better and to improve themselves, versus the person who's just like, this is a fun part-time gig. Like, there's a huge difference in what I'm going to attract if I'm using those different types of language. You know, if you have kind of, like, I know that some of us are, like, of the mindset that you really shouldn't follow a bunch of other coaches. I tend to just follow, like, 1 or 2 that really inspire me. And I will say, I do think it's helpful to a certain extent, you know, like, if you have, like, a coach that you've related to in the network who's been really successful, don't feel afraid to follow them and kind of duplicate some of the things that they do. Not copy, but, like, if you see a coaching call to action post they put out there and you're like, yes, like, that's what I'm looking for, like, take notes on that or take a screenshot of it and use it for your next coaching call to action. Same thing with challenge groups with them. I do think, like, learning from the best and duplicating what they do is great. Don't copy, but make it as part of your inspiration, especially if that person really resonates with you. I only follow a couple of coaches, and I honestly just, they inspire me. Like, I want to be where they are in terms of freedom and like their lifestyle. So I just kind of use that as inspiration for what I put out there in terms of coaching call to actions and even like the live sneak peeks that we're doing on Tuesdays. And then, um, you know, the last thing that was said, and this is a little bit harder, whatever, you don't necessarily have a big team, but find your pushers. Look at who you have in your challenge groups that are being really present and who are, showing up, who are logging their workouts, logging their Shakeology really regularly, and try to, put some effort into those people to say, like, I believe that you could truly do this. Like, maybe it's not full on like I'm doing, but maybe it's just inspiring a few people in your life. Like, I'm sure you already are, you just haven't necessarily taken that leap. If you have people like that you've seen in your challenge groups, those are people that should go on your list to ask. I mean, of course, I always, when I have challengers that hit that 30-day mark, or it's about a week before, I always say, would you like to talk about coaching at all, whether it be for the discount or for the business? And I try to set reminders based on that. But if I don't, I just kind of go into my coach office and I look at my volume. And what I'll do is I'll go to the volume for, say, like, it's February 11th now. I'll take like, 2 weeks before in January, like January 15th through, well, I'm sorry, I should go back. So like January 1st through the 15th, or wait, no, I'm doing that wrong. Sorry. Okay, if they signed up like after the 11th of January, I would look at the volume report, find those customers, and I would reach out to them and I'd just be like, hey, I don't know if you've considered this at all, but obviously there is a coaching opportunity for a business and there's a coaching opportunity for a discount. I don't know if you're enjoying your Shakeology. Like, I'll see if they've been logging it in the challenge tracker app. And if they have, I'll invite them to join coaching, or I'll invite them to our info group at least. And, it used to be a lot easier, like before social media got kind of like weedy. I think it's weedy in a sense that like there's so much going on, to see people who would stand out. Like, some people just will show up every single day and will do everything and will respond to everything. And I feel like it's a little bit harder to see now. But what you could do is like, put notifications on Instagram or Facebook for those people that you have in your challenge groups that are, your new customers, and follow them and see if they do post about it, or see if they are like sharing stories about what they're doing. And if they are, those would be the first people I would say, look, you're already sharing what you're doing. You're already being an influence on other people. Is this something you'd want to pursue? And I know this is a little bit more down the road. It's not like hitting it immediately. Good night, buddy. Love you. Okay. Love you. It's always bedtime during the team calls. And that's just something to think about with growing your team with the people that you have. That obviously is more like the business owner, like, I am looking for people and I'm going to find these people. And like I've said before, you find your like 3 to 5 really committed people, your business grows tremendously, but also your excitement about this grows, your confidence grows. You have people that you're actually leading, which turns you into a leader, even if you don't necessarily think that you already are one. And it can really just transform the way you look at this, because you might not necessarily be taking yourself as seriously with it until you attract those people. You should take yourself seriously. Like, I think the moment you make yourself an Emerald coach, you make a decision. I am going somewhere with this business. And it's just a matter of holding on to that and not necessarily looking at the next goal as something that feels so hard. And then let's talk about the other side, which is obviously the game plan strategy. So obviously, being a diamond coach, you have 2 emeralds, and then you have 3 additional coaches on each side. I think we all know that when you have that many different people, especially some that might be discount or some that might be here for the business and they don't necessarily jump right in, it's like a puzzle, trying to fit the right people in the right places. And I don't think that's anything to be discouraged about. It just happens. But I think you have to look at those people that you're adding. Like, each month, I would aim for at least 2 coaches that you're adding to your team, and know that some might cancel, some might go inactive, some might stick around as discount coaches and never do anything. And that's okay. You're going to have a mix of all of them. But if you're continuously adding 2 or more coaches to your team each month, you're going to get there much more quickly. And so ultimately, I think Emerald in a month is a good goal. And I hate to make goals for other people, but like, honestly, if you want to come in and hit the ground running, I think getting yourself Emerald in a month is like obviously what's recommended. And then going Emerald each month after that. And then ultimately you could hit diamond in 6 months, like if you're adding 2 to 3 coaches to your team a month and you've got like your husband that you could make Emerald and maybe another family member that you could make Emerald, you should be able to get there 6 to 9 months. I mean, of course, it can be done much more quickly. It's great to sign 5 coaches within 5 weeks and take advantage of that $100 discount, or I'm sorry, $100 bonus. But obviously, that is not going to necessarily happen every single month. But don't let the fear of the invite to coaching scare you off. Like, you know, you are growing a team. Saying that and like recruiting people is totally natural. And I love kind of like that this month we've done this shift and talking much more about growing our teams, because I think I'm seeing people get more comfortable with it. And this obviously in your stories is a really simple place, but in your conversations now, like, you know, when you're going back to your stories after you did your whole day sneak peek and you're inviting, those people that watched all those stories should be getting an invite to your coaching team, not to your challenge group. And same thing with your post. When you're making coaching posts and you get a bunch of likes on that or comments, those people that are responding to that should get an invite to your team and not necessarily your challenge group. Obviously, I know some of the people are the same and they're just like, you know, I'm just supporting you, but you know, still putting yourself out there and being like, I don't know if you've ever considered doing what I'm doing, but I think, you know, you clearly are showing me support and encouragement, and that's exactly what we do with other people. Would you have any interest in checking out this info group? So the last thought I had about this, and I'm going to post the diamond roadmap, and I want you guys to fill it out and look at it on like a weekly basis. I don't know if you want to like dry erase it or what. I track what you guys do every single week. And what I try to do is, because the whole system updates on Thursdays, I try to look at it on Fridays. And obviously a lot of people are projected inactive right away on Fridays. And so I'll always go back and look at it on Tuesdays, and I see what gaps there are, what needs to be filled in. And I would suggest doing that, especially if you are serious about building to that next level, so you always know where you are. Because one, you obviously want to make sure you can stay Emerald to not lose any carryover or anything. But then two, you're strategizing to your next level. So knowing what it takes to get there is really important. But also what I was going to say is about our sneak peeks for tomorrow. Like, obviously, if we're doing this all month, doing the same thing you did last week seems really weird, right? I was thinking tomorrow, if like you still want to kind of do your day in the life, like I do my workout, I do my power hour, I do my personal development. Instead of just making it like, this is what I do, you might take an objection that you typically get and incorporate that in the text of the post. I know I posted something about this from a challenge group like 2 months ago. It was Instagram stories, and like she's drinking a shake and somebody will say like, do I have to drink that shake to join your group? And she put like, no, you know, there's multiple options. You don't have to do this, but this is obviously really amazing for your health. Then the next thing is like, you know, I'm doing my workout. You might put like, do I have to work out at home to join your team? Or however you want to put it. And you could put like, no, you could take these workouts in a gym. You can incorporate these as like a complement to some of the workouts you're already doing, or you can use this for cross training. There's all sorts of options on here. And we have coaches that are into CrossFit or yoga instructors or whatever. Like, kind of like, obviously you have to make it succinct if you're doing it in stories, but I was thinking tomorrow could be a good way to change it up, like as addressing what typical responses that you get, or what typical objections that you get. Like, so some things to think about are obviously like, do I have to buy Shakeology? Do I have to buy a certain amount of product each month to be a coach? Do I have to hold inventory? Do I have to work out at home? Do I have to, y'all can help me think of some other ones. Oh, like, do I just have to do this on my own? You know, like, no, we're here to support you and we run groups with you. Maybe about social media, not knowing enough people. I know those are kind of some of the objections that we talk about in the sneak peeks. I don't know how it could work, but I was thinking, you know, how they have that question feature on Instagram stories. Like, I was going to try to play around with it in the morning and see if I could somehow put the objection into that question and then like respond to it maybe in the next slide, or do something like that, kind of just to make it prettier. Maybe you guys have a little more knowledge about that. I don't know if I have to let someone else ask the question or if I can actually type in what the question is. I guess I could, I don't know. Stacy, do you know? No. Okay. I mean, of course, this is just like optional. You know, you can approach your sneak peek however you want, but I just thought I would give you ideas of, if you did it last week and you kind of were like, well, I don't necessarily want to talk about the same thing, this would be a good way to like continue to carry your followers through that part of your story. Okay, sorry, I got the little notice about the meeting ending. So yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to say. I mean, I think my biggest thought is, I think that what holds a lot of people back is just lack of belief. And so I think a lot of that just really comes from, I know some of us, like Ashley and I've talked about this, we both really get fueled up when someone tells us we're not going to succeed. And so we're like, screw you, I'm doing this. But if that doesn't work for you, like maybe it has to be more personal development, or maybe it has to be more like the fake it till you make it. In the beginning, I would literally drink a glass of wine and I would sit down and I'd be like, send out 10 scary invites and I'd run away, or I'd make a post and I'd run away. Cause I just was like, I need some like sort of, build up to give me this confidence. And of course, over time, I didn't care. Like it started to become really fun. But I think when I started to find the joy in it and like kind of puffed myself up a little bit beforehand, I started sending out bolder invites and I started to be a little bit more upfront about what it was I was doing. Like I would love to help challengers all day long, but I find the business side to be that much more fun. So I would rather invite to that side now. It's just scarier. But I think if you do it more regularly, it obviously takes that fear factor away. I've heard other coaches on like national wake up calls say that they literally just start their day by sending 5 coaching invites. And like, that is their non-negotiable because they know that they want to grow their team. And I think, I've tried that in the past. I think that's a really great way to approach it. All right. I'm going to unmute everybody. Does anybody have any questions?
No, I think that was great. Yeah, you knew I was the wrong person to ask about social media questions. Like,
you looked like you had something to say and you pulled out your phone. So
no, sorry. I was grabbing everything and coming in the house from the garage.
I mean, if you prefer to not do that, like you could certainly just do quick video clips, like hold yourself to a 15-second response, and just say.
Yeah. I think those are great ideas to talk about what a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking today, or I was thinking about it this weekend, and I was like, what's a different way we could do this? And then this Thursday in the sneak peek, we'll get a couple of different ladies to do their stories. I think Courtney volunteered, so maybe I'll see if their team wants to go. And I'll just keep sharing the stories to the units. If you have anything in there that could make it more interesting, like during the week as we're just waiting, that would be cool. I guess if I did a better job about lining up the speakers, I could do little intros on them or something throughout the week. I don't know. I was trying to think about that today. Because I'm getting a lot of people say, yes, add me. But then after they added, there's like 5 people that have seen it.
That's how my info group is going for the Transform 20. Like people were watching and now nobody's looking at them at all. But I'm just sending messages and getting conversations that way.
Yeah. I mean, you shared your results. You could totally, follow up on that.
If it wasn't already people I'm talking to or people I've already nonstop,
This is kind of why I'm like getting a little less involved on Facebook and just moving more towards randos on Instagram. The Facebook thing today, like literally going through Teamsy, my follow-ups today, some people I looked at and I wrote, don't know why I'm following up with them. And I just skipped a follow-up date. Cause I'm like, I'm done with this. Like I'm done with like a year. Like a girl responded to me today. She goes, literally 9 months ago, asked me for info. And she said, please keep asking me. And I'm like, today she goes, I promise I'll get back to you. And I just said, you'll take care of you when you're ready. I just left it at that. Like, I'm not doing this every month thing. Like, it's a huge waste of time. So my Teamsy is getting way smaller, which is good.
I like that jacket, by the way.
This was from Summit last year. Oh, hey, Courtney.
I missed that.
Call's almost over.
Fashionably
Sorry,
late.
y'all.
No worries. I'll put the recording up. I was just saying to them, and I'll just tell you real quick, but if you're going to do a coaching sneak stories tomorrow, the other idea I had to kind of vary it up from last week was like to address objections in your stories, like either via pictures or like video, but like if you post a picture of you drinking Shakeology, you might put like a text of do I have to drink this shake to be a coach, or do I have to drink this shake to be in your groups? And you could obviously like address objections in your stories as you go, as a way to maybe vary it up from last week's sneak peek.
Okay, cool.
And then I volunteered you to speak in the sneak peek on Thursday, and anybody else from your team who might want to. Like Tawny could be really cool to speak in there if she's open to it.
Okay.
I don't know if she is, but you know, I mean, I'm sure Heather would if we asked her.
Yeah. I'm sure it was a great call.
I would love
Our
to see
kids played like Russian roulette. Like one got up, one went down, one went up, one went down.
Yeah, I just tell Colin on Monday nights now. I ask him to help me because it's too much.
Just too smart.
All right, well, I'll post the recording. It hopefully was helpful.
Thank you.